Welcome back to this second part of the video presentation of the second lesson from First Flight, textbook in English for Class 10, Cbse. This video is the second part of the video series. Here I will read out the lesson with video background for you to understand the lesson better. Hope you will enjoy the lesson. Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Dear friends, now we have the extract from Nelson Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, chapter 115. I will read from page number 19 of the book, First Flight, up to page 21. Then I will give you answers from the oral comprehension check on page 21. I hope that you will enjoy this video lesson. Now the text. A few moments later we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters and troop carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems, and the vision of whites singing Nkosi Cycle, I Africa, and blacks singing Die Stem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century, and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all peoples, regardless of the color of their skin. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another, unintended, effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisulus, the Chief Lutulis, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sabukes of our time, men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Now I will give you the answers from the oral comprehension check, page 21, question 1. What do the military generals do? How has their attitude changed, and why? Answer. The highest military generals of South African Defence Force saluted Mandela and pledged their allegiance to him. It was of great significance because, during apartheid era, they would have arrested him and caused him extreme torture. However, now there was a change in their attitude. It was all because of struggle and unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of his people, whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. This desperate struggle not only confirmed the freedom of a nation struggling with apartheid, but also brought a revolutionary change in mindsets of all the people. Mandela strongly believed that love can also be taught easily, because it is more akin to human quality and human being is naturally inclined towards love rather than hate. Question 2. Why were 2 national anthems sung? Answer. On this auspicious day of May 10th, on the occasion of the inauguration, 2 national anthems were sung, one by the whites and the other by the blacks, symbolizing and signifying the equality of the blacks and the whites. Question 3. How does Mandela describe the systems of government in his country? 1. In the first decade and 2. In the final decade of the 20th century? Answer. 1. In the first decade of the century, the whites had established a system of racial domination against the blacks, thus created the basis of one of the most brutal, ruthless, the harshest, and the most inhumane societies the world had ever known. 2. In the final decade of the 20th century, the previous system, that is the ruthless apartheid government, had been overturned and was replaced by one which recognized equal rights and freedom of all people regardless of color of their skin, ethnicity, caste, creed, faith and language. Question 4. What does courage mean to Mandela? Answer. For Mandela, courage does not mean simply the absence of fear but a victory over it. According to him, brave men need not be fearless but should be able to conquer fear. The brave person is not the one who does not feel afraid, but he or she who conquers that fear. Question 5. Which does he think is natural, to love or to hate? Answer. According to Mandela, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and he believes, if people can learn to hate, they can as well be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Because love is more akin to human quality for Mandela, love comes more naturally to the human heart than hate. That's all for now, my dear friends and viewers. I will soon be back with the next part of this lesson. I hope that you all have enjoyed this part of the lesson. If so, kindly like, share and comment on the video. Till the next video comes by, till then. Have a good day. Your beloved Paul Sir.